Even after Richard battled alcoholism for years, they each reached out for help when they needed it most. A simple phone call put them in touch with a trained professional from the Department of Veterans Affairs. That call got Michelle a place to stay until she could afford one of her own, put Chris in touch with employment assistance, and found Richard a substance abuse program. These veterans are success stories not only for how they were able to help others while serving their country, but for how they were able to let others help them. If you know of or are a veteran in need, make the call.
Hello, everybody. Veterans Day weekend is a chance for all of us to say two simple words. Thank you. Thank you to that greatest generation who fought island by island across the Pacific and freed millions from fascism in Europe. Thank you to the heroes who risked everything through the bitter cold of Korea and the stifling heat of Vietnam. And thank you to all the heroes who have served since. Most recently, our 9/11 generation of veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan. Now that more of them are coming home, we need to serve them as well as they serve us. And that requires more than a simple thank you, especially from those of us who've been elected to serve. I've often said that my top priority is growing the economy, creating new jobs, and restoring middle-class security. And a very important part of that is making sure that every veteran has every chance to share in the opportunity he or she has helped defend. In addition to the care and benefits they've earned, including good mental health care to stay strong. That means a good job, a good education, and a home to call their own. If you fight for your country overseas, you should never have to fight for a job when you come home. I've made sure the federal government leads by example, and since I took office, we've hired about 300,000 veterans to keep serving their country. Our new transition assistance program is helping veterans and their spouses find that new job and plan their career. And I'm going to keep calling on Congress to do the right thing and pass the Veterans Job Corps. Put our veterans to work, rebuilding America. Our troops gain unmatched skills while serving in harm's way. So we're also doing everything we can to connect more businesses with highly skilled veterans. More help with job searches, more tools to connect veterans to job openings, more chances to earn licenses and credentials for civilian jobs, and new tax credits for companies that hire veterans and wounded warriors. Tax credits which Congress should make permanent. And America's businesses have worked with Michelle and Joe Biden's Joining Forces campaign to help returning heroes find jobs in the private sector. They've already hired or trained 290,000 veterans and military spouses, and they've committed to hiring over 400,000 more. We're also committed to giving today's veterans and their families the same shot at a great education this country gave my grandfather when he came home from World War II. We're helping more of them earn their degrees under the post-9/11 GI Bill. We've worked with thousands of schools across the country to set new standards to protect against dishonest recruiting and predatory lending practices that target our veterans. And we're helping hundreds of community colleges and universities do more to welcome and encourage our veterans on campus. Thanks to these efforts and the efforts of the private sector, we've made progress getting our vets back to work. But we've got a lot more work to do. And as more than 1 million of our troops return to civilian life, we're going to have to work even harder because the skill, dedication, and courage of our troops is unmatched. And when they come home, we all benefit from their efforts to build a stronger America and a brighter future for our kids. So to all our veterans, on behalf of our entire nation, thank you for everything you've done and will continue to do for our country. As your Commander-in-Chief, I'm proud of your service and grateful for your sacrifice. And as long as I'm your president, I will make it my mission to make sure that America has your back, not just on one day or one weekend, but 365 days a year. Thanks. God bless you and have a great weekend.
Welcome back to Studio 27 on this Veterans Day morning, 2013. Yours truly, Joe Hafner, here at the controls. And, okay, there we go. Just wondering why that was still lit when it wasn't playing. Anyway, it's time to it's time for me to hit this button, and I'll keep talking.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna zig a zig.
Open Gangnam Style.
And now things you need to know on this Veterans Day. Of course, it is Veterans Day here in the United States. Also celebrated as Armistice Day or Remembrance Day. Today we honor more than 24 million. Today we honor more than 24 million military veterans in the United States. In other things trending today, Best Buy to open earlier on Thanksgiving. Claiming that customers demand being able to get away from their families and shop earlier, Best Buy will now open at 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving evening. A Best Buy spokeswoman says last year customers clearly showed that they wanted to be out shopping much earlier on Thanksgiving Day. North Korea gets its first water theme park. In the tightly guarded communist nation of North Korea, a new attraction for locals has recently opened. The Munsu Water Park is the first water park in North Korea. In the wacky but true files, man hides in his TV. Obviously, it's an old TV set. A man on the run from authorities in Japan was found curled up in an unusual location. After receiving a tip that he might be in his girlfriend's apartment, police searched high and low. Eventually, they found him hiding inside the shell of an old-school floor-model television set. The girlfriend was also arrested since cops had to unscrew the back of the TV case to get her boyfriend out. Thor 2 crushes box office competition. Thor, the Dark World movie, torpedoed its competition at the box office over the weekend, bringing in over $86 million. And finally, Miley Cyrus lights up joint on stage. Oh, why don't she just grow up? Yeah, Miley Cyrus twerked and toked at the European version of MTV's VMA's Puffin' a Fat Joint on live TV Sunday night while accepting the award for Best Video. You know, maybe I shouldn't have brought it up, but I am tired of Miley Cyrus. I really am. I didn't care for Hannah Montana, but this is not helping her cause any. And with that being said, it's time for news headlines.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news.
And in news headlines today, death toll could reach 10,000 in Philippines typhoon. Powerful typhoon that hit the Philippines early this morning, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake on the scale not seen before in the country. Typhoon Haiyan plowed into northeastern Vietnam, killing 5 in Vietnam before hitting the Philippines. As many as 10,000 people could be dead nationally in the Philippines as a result of the storm. The storm left a grim situation with lack of electricity, water, food, leveled buildings, and quickly depleting medical supplies. President Obama has pledged support for the ravaged islands. Dolphins Incognito speaks out defending hazing text. Miami Dolphins player Richie Incognito spoke out yesterday on Fox NFL Sunday, defending how his now infamous text to teammate Jonathan Martin. Incognito said of his racially charged text messages, "No matter how bad and how vulgar it sounds, that's how we communicate, that's how our friendship was," unquote. Incognito was recently suspended for the bullying incident. And finally, Oregon animal sanctuary worker killed by wildcat. 36-year-old Renee Razanwan of Portland, an employee at the Oregon Animal Sanctuary, was recently attacked and killed by a wildcat. He died in the Saturday night attack at Wildcat Haven Sanctuary in suburban Sherwood, Oregon. The animal was locked in a cage following the attack. Authorities say, was it a man or was it a woman? This show prep service sucks. I am wanting to assume that it was a woman, because Renee is typically a woman's name. First it has it listed as a man, then it says it's a woman in the last paragraph. Well, regardless, Renee died. And was experienced with animals. Oh, that is really irritating. I apologize. I should have proofread that before I went on, but I didn't. Well, let's take a look at that nationwide weather forecast as I try to figure out what gender this person is. Of course, at this point, I don't think it really matters now except to the deceased family and friends, does it? Anyway, let's see here. Where's the weather forecast at? There we go. Now, hopefully this won't be any more confusing.
I'm meteorologist Reynolds Wolf, and we're watching the rain, the sleet, the potential of snowfall through the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest, even the northern plains. Now, what we can also expect is a lot of cold air in the northern plains. Gulf Coast relatively mild. Phoenix hot with 91 degrees, 49 in Boston. And then by Tuesday, we're going to see the rain, the showers, the snows move into parts of the Appalachians, into Tennessee also. West Texas seeing the raindrops. Pacific Northwest, another round of rain, sleet, and snow. Best chance of snow will be high elevation into the Cascades. And Tuesday remains cold throughout parts of the Great Lakes, Midwest. For Orlando with 82, New York and Boston 30s and 40s, 92 in Phoenix, and 60s in San Francisco, 55 for Seattle.
Okay, coming up in a few moments on this edition of First Cup. By the way, I'm sorry if I sound a little snippy today, but I am a little bit irritable. This indigestion is not helping anything, so hopefully I'll snap out of it here in a little bit. Coming up, this is, by the way, the theme to MASH. It sounds like I'm in a shopping center, doesn't it? Yeah, where's the mayonnaise at? Anyway, coming up in a few minutes, I'll have the CBS World News Roundup. The song of the day a little bit later on, popular tweets of the day. Right around the corner, though, it's Today in History across or wide Missouri, assuming if it's available. And celebrity birthdays right after the composer's date book and the writer's almanac. So stick around. More First Cup is on the way.
You are about to enter another